What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and we're back with another episode of Awesome Add-ons. I've had a couple folks ask what I think of ElvUI, and I've heard people mention LUI before. However, I'm a pretty standard person. I don't really care for all the fancy bells and whistles that a lot of the all-encompassing UI systems have. And on top of that, they often break or have issues when a new patch or expansion comes out. So then you're stuck playing without the system that you're used to playing with until they can fix it. So today I'll show you guys a few of the add-ons I personally use to do my UI. If this video is helpful or you use something different, feel free to comment below. I'm always interested in seeing what other add-ons are out there that can make the UI in the game a little cleaner or easier to use, as the standard UI is about as effective as using a blender to mow your lawn. I use quite a few add-ons nowadays, which is a big turnaround from how I used to be. Years ago, I was the type of person who literally refused to use add-ons, as I thought I didn't need them to play better. Looking back, I realized how much add-ons have improved my performance. Of course, hindsight is 20/20, hence why I wanted to make these videos to help others that may be thinking the same way I was about add-ons. So I'll be talking about 3 add-ons in this episode, and they are Bartender, Move Anything, and Tell Me When. They're all pretty simple to use, but can really change how your UI looks while being very stable and not as prone to errors like some of the full UI suites can be, especially during expansion launches or patches. And I entirely get why it happens. When the internal workings of the game change, there are a lot of frameworks that have to change also. So it's nothing against the developers or users of those UIs, I just prefer using things like these. Bartender is a pretty simple add-on, and allows you to change the size and positions of all the bars you put your moves on. This add-on also allows you to save profiles, meaning you can make one universal button placement for all your characters, allowing for consistency. You can change the size and orientation of a bar by changing the number of columns and rows, allowing you to adjust basically anything about them so you don't have a bunch of random squares that you don't need to use. It also allows you to enable and disable things, like the classic UI background on your bars, so you can make a much more clean and seamless looking setup. When you go into edit mode, anything that you have enabled will have a green box surrounding it, showing where everything will be when you're done fiddling with them, such as moving their position or the padding between your buttons too. It's definitely a worthwhile add-on to pick up if you've never used it before, at least to try it out. The next add-on I'll talk about is Move Anything, which is quite literally what it sounds like. It allows you to move anything in the game's UI. Obviously, there are some normal things you can move even in the standard UI, such as your character frame and your target enemy frame and your chat box. But this add-on allows you to move small and annoying things in the game. So let's say you don't want Thanos blowing up the middle of your screen during Siege of Borealis for 5 minutes straight, because somehow they still haven't fixed that looping dialogue issue that's been there for like over a year. Yeah, you can scale that down and move it by changing the quest talking head frame option in Move Anything. This is an add-on I couldn't imagine not having, as it lets you just make the information on the screen so much easier to look at in any way you want it to be. For this next add-on, I'm probably going to do a separate tutorial on it at some point. Tell Me When is a simple buff/debuff tracking system, and it's what I use to track my Roll the Bones buffs and the cooldowns of most of my abilities. It's a pretty simple add-on that is very easy to learn the basics of, so if you need a way to track things and don't have a billion different weak ores already, then you might want to give this one a try. I've been a fan of it for years. Anyways guys, I think that's about it for this episode of Awesome Add-ons. If you haven't tried any of these before, I definitely think you ought to give them a chance. If you have any other add-ons you use for your UI or want any other add-ons talked about in the series, let me know in the comments below. If you end up liking this kind of stuff, I have a bunch of other videos on my channel you might be interested in too. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.